mopping every day, cleaning all my surfaces every day, cooking all my food from scratch every day, doing all my laundry every day, and having 100% unbreakable, solid routines. For some people, that list at the beginning are going to be those things that you must do every single day. For me, they're my things that I don't put energy into. Just as I think it's important to be intentional about the things that you and your home need every day to keep it going at a minimum level, I also think it's really important that we choose the things that we don't care as much about and be intentional about that. For me, when I have something on my list that I don't really care about, but it's on my list because I feel like it should be, and then I don't do it because it's not where I want to put my energy, then it becomes a cycle of feeling like I should, and so I'm always playing catch up. And that creates a lot of an impossible situation, first of all. But more than that, it creates some serious unhealth in how I judge myself and how I view my role in this home. So a few years ago, I started getting intentional about that. What are the things that are always left off of my to-do list? And are they left off because I simply ran out of time, or because I don't feel like they need to be done as frequently as and to the same level as I was putting on there? Because it's not a moral judgment. It's not a moral judgment on you. If you are someone who does not cook 100% of your food from scratch, or even 50% of your food from scratch, and your family's still getting fed and it's still meeting your needs, fantastic. If you are someone who absolutely thrives on walking into the room, into your first floor every day, your kitchen, whatever, and seeing it mopped perfectly, and it works for you, fantastic, do it. But if it's not, and your floor is clean, but not as clean as it could be, it's okay. It is not about you. It's about where you're spending your energy. Some people like to spend a lot of their energy doing all the cleaning, and that is fine. That, again, this is not a moral judgment either way. For them, it's how they survive well. It's mental health care. They're caring for their mental health in the same way. It's natural for them, whatever. For some of us, that level of care of my home every day is not natural. And I struggle a lot. And I've gotten a lot better. And most days, I would have no problem welcoming most people to my home. Maybe not like the president or Martha Stewart, but otherwise, I'm good. I'm really good. If you, whoever you are, if you stop by my house, please don't search me out. But if you happen to know where I live and you came into my house, I'd welcome you. I'd put you down at my table. I'd throw something quickly together, and we'd sit and chat. And I would feel comfortable. But part of why I would feel comfortable is because I've been intentional about choosing where I want my focus. So let's go back to that list that I shared at the beginning. I'm going to talk about mine. And as I'm doing it, again, it's not to say that you should have this on your bottom list or that you shouldn't. But I want you to think about, will it inspire you? And then I want you to be intentional about this. If you are ready right now, grab a piece of paper and jot down 3, 4, or 5 things that you think are going to be at your bottom of your list. Give it a couple weeks and see, I'm actually spending my time doing this most days. So then maybe you need to scratch it off and put something else on there. Or maybe you're like, oh yeah, that was a perfect list. Whatever it is, be intentional about it. And be intentional about saying, this is okay for me not to do. Not to do every week or not to do every day, whatever the case is for you. Okay? So, back to my list. Number 1, mopping every day. We do mop the kitchen area almost every day. We have a Rubbermaid, I forget what it's called, Rubbermaid mop where you keep the solution in it. And we do the kitchen most days of the week. I do run our vacuum every day. We have a robot vacuum. It gets ran twice a day usually. On the days that the kitchen doesn't get mopped, it at least gets swept every day. So it's not like my floor is dirty, but it's also not mopped every day. We do laundry almost every day of the week, some days more than one load. But there is almost never a point in which I would say that like 90% of the laundry is done. Between my daughter's laundry, now that she's home for the summer, and the boys, mine, towels, there's always laundry to be done. My grandma was one who you washed your clothes every night. Whether or not you had a full load, you washed them. And on Saturdays, you caught up on everything else. And so that you started the week with everything clean. And every night, the only dirty clothes you had in your house were the ones that you wore that day. And those are getting washed while you sleep. And in my mind, like, that was the way to do life. Well, I don't know how she did that, because I've tried. And there's always laundry to be done. And I got to a place where holding that to my ideal was pointless, because I was never meeting it. When I adjusted it, though, and said, I would like to get laundry done every day, and on the weekend, do a bunch more. My husband, until recently, did almost all the clothes every weekend. When I got to that point, though, that I said, let's just make it a goal to do a load every day, keep up on laundry, keep it where every day, people can find clothes to wear, even if it's not the outfit they want to wear, but they have clothes, then I'm good. And that has completely revolutionized the way I think about laundry and my willingness to every day keep at it, because I don't feel like there's always this pressure of I'm never going to get it done. For me, that's really important. Something that's not important is having clean surfaces every day. I'm a pile person. I have spent years trying not to be a pile person. My goal now is to be a better pile person. My goal is that most days, my kitchen counters, other than the things we keep on the counters, most days they're clear. The coffee table in the living room, most days is clear. Kitchen table is always ready to sit down and eat at. When I changed my thing, because 100% clear wasn't happening. We are just not that family. So again, when I changed that as my goal and feeling like I was never going to reach it, so why bother? It got a lot better, which seems so counterintuitive. Like, in my mind, I feel like I should have always been close, because I should have always been striving for it. But I wasn't, because I knew I wasn't going to get that way. So I didn't put a lot of effort into trying. Now, as we develop better habits and mindsets, it's gotten a lot better. And it's not 100%. But again, most people, if they come to the house, I'm not going to feel the least bit embarrassed about what's on my counters. Now, as far as like wiping counters in the kitchen, that gets done every day. At least once a day. Sometimes more, sometimes just once. It is what it is. But I'm not leaving messes on the counter or anything like that. I'm really focused talking about like clutter. What some people would call clutter, what I call stuff. Now, another one that is one I have struggled with a lot. And it goes back to when my kids were little. And message boards. Message board I most enjoyed for parenting. Also had a really big emphasis on natural care and home-cooked foods and that kind of thing, which was great because it really helped me to to learn a lot. But I also got really focused on how much I cooked from scratch being a reflection of how much I love my family. And that is so unhealthy. And I still enjoy cooking from scratch a lot, but cooking from scratch now doesn't mean that I dice and can my own tomatoes necessarily, sometimes, but it doesn't mean that. It just means that I'm not buying a frozen pasta dish, for example. I'm putting it together with mostly homemade sauce, not always store-bought pasta, not making my pasta, not making my bread to go with dinner. I love cooking from scratch. If I had my ideal world, you'll have the meme of like, which would you rather have, a butler or a chef, whatever, not a chef. I want to cook. My ideal world that I'd free up time doing from my other things so that I could cook more. I love it. But I don't love feeling guilt if I grab spaghetti sauce from the store. Or if I buy garlic bread from the store instead of making it. I still enjoy it, but it's not where I need to spend my energy at this point in my life. I've also ditched this idea that solid routines where you move from one thing to the next thing to the next thing at this time of day is the ideal way to do life. That may seem counterintuitive because I do talk about routines and knowing your must-dos and such, but both in homeschool and not. But that's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about that at 8:45, you have finished breakfast, and now you are going to do this, and then this, and then this. And after lunch, you're going, whatever time that is, you're going to do this, and then this, and then this. That is ideal. For some people, it's ideal. And in my mind, I think it would actually help me if I did that. But my days are so different every day, and my demands on my day are so different that it is a struggle for me. I've spent 40 some years trying to be someone else in regards to routines and schedules and habits. And I'm done. Most of my to-do list gets done most days of the week. Not always back to back in a way that should work, but it gets done. And it's meeting my needs, my home needs are getting met, and my mental needs are getting met. And that's what's important. Because it's not about if I just try harder. It's about where I'm spending my energy and where I want to spend my energy. Because I'm being intentional about the things that I'm not going to do every single day. So, as you develop your list, give it some intentional thought. Okay? And write it down. Whether you're writing it down in your phone that only your eyes can see, or you're plastering it on the refrigerator for everyone in the house to know this isn't where we're spending our energy. Do it with intentionality. Now, if you want to see the flip side of that, go watch my video that's on the screen, and I will see you over there.